Week 0 is upon us, and we have partnered with Underdog Fantasy to bring you our lineups on a weekly basis all throughout the season. We're going to be putting together our lineups on the Underdog Fantasy app, and if you would like to join us, use our code 3TechPod. You can get up to a 50% deposit bonus match up to $1,000, and if you play $5, you can get $50 in bonus deposits instantly. We'd love to have you join us throughout this season, not only just in week 0, but for the entirety of the regular season. Off the top, as we start this new pick process, guys, we are very much reintroducing the ledger format that we've had from the past years. We've played this game ongoing. We've had kind of a point standing system. And do I remember who's won each of the years? Absolutely not. But it is certainly a lot of fun. So the ground rules, gentlemen, are as follows. Each week, we have to make at least 3 selections to our lineup. Now, Underdog does allow you to flex an option to where if you pick 3, for instance, you just have to get 2 right in order to get the full payout. So that is an option, but at least 3 additions to your lineup every single week. You have to go higher or lower a player's stats. And let's get that kicked off this week with, I'm going with 5 in week 0, gentlemen. And I'm feeling plucky. I'm feeling spicy right out of the gates. First of all, let us go with higher on Avery Johnson. Give me higher on his total for rushing touchdowns. I think that Kansas State is going to be able to run the ball quite nicely against this Iowa State front. They were 110th in the country last year in defending the run. They might be better this year, but against a dual threat option attack like Avery Johnson and Dylan Edwards can bring, I'm going to lean into that. I'm also going to go higher on Dylan Edwards, higher 82.5 rushing yards. Add that to the lineup. On the other side of Farmageddon, though, I'm going to take Iowa State to put up some points as well. Give me higher Rocco Becht for 239.5 passing yards. I think Rocco could throw for 300 yards very easily. Kansas State is replacing all 5 of their starters in the back end. They're going to have to iron some things out, and Iowa State, I think, is going to get passing yards up on the board. Then let's go to the Hilltoppers, taking on Sam Houston Saturday afternoon. Give me higher Maverick McIver, 287.5 passing yards in that one. He put up all kinds of stupid numbers at Abilene Christian. He comes over to Western Kentucky, where all they do is throw the ball, and Sam Houston State's got to rebuild that entire defense. So higher on McIver passing yards. And then let's go to the Islands, gentlemen, where Hawaii hosts Stanford. Give me higher Micah Aliato, higher 1.5 passing touchdowns. The Bows might carve up Stanford and that defense. I just don't know what we're getting from Stanford, so I'm going to take Aliato to go higher on that passing total for touchdowns. Put 100 kicks coins on it, and you can win up to 795 if all of those picks in the lineup end up cashing out. So that's my lineup. I guess, Trey, over to you.
All right. Well, I'm going a little more conservative here. I'm just trying to find a fairway in week 0, not start behind the 8 ball a little bit. So just 3 selections for my lineup here, but I'm with you on the rushing attack of Kansas State, being able to exploit that Iowa State defense. A lot of replacements up front on the Iowa State defense as well from a unit that just was really poor against the rush last year pretty consistently. Like you talked about, I'm kind of flipping what you did. So I'm going to go Avery Johnson more than the rushing yard total here. That's 42.5. This is a number that he was more than or higher than 7 times last year, including against Iowa State in the last regular season game last season. So give me Avery Johnson more than 42.5 rushing yards. Dylan Edwards, this almost feels like something that you can count on with a Kansas State offense, and it's the running backs finding the end zone. Give me more than a half rushing or receiving touchdowns. So Dylan Edwards just needs to find the end zone for that one to be part of my lineup here. And then finally, I'm going to the opening of Booth Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas, the other school in Kansas. But this might seem like a little bit of a shade on the surface, but I'll explain this pick here. Jalen Daniels, guy that we love on this show. I'm going lower than on rushing total here. It's the number is set at 32.5, but he was only more than that number 5 times last year.
Hmm.
And last season in the opener, against it was some FCS school. I can't remember off the top of my head. Lindenwood. There you go. I had it at the very bottom of my notes. Against Lindenwood, they didn't rush him a single time. He had 0 carries for 0 yards. I think I'm taking a little bit of a leap of faith here, but I think that they're going to want to protect Jalen Daniels. They're not going to want him to use his legs. I think this will be a game where Kansas can afford to do that because I think that they're going to be up by enough points that they're not necessarily having to use that wrinkle of their offense. So give me Jalen Daniels going lower than the number 36.5. You add those three together, and it's a smaller payout than what Mitch said, but 100 kicks coins could net me 485 if all three of those pieces of my lineup come to fruition.
Love that. Trey, I'm going to kind of sort of double up with some of the things that you picked, just kind of playing my way through this a little bit here. Avery Johnson, higher than 42.5. That feels like it could happen in the first quarter. All it takes is one busted assignment, and he's off to the races, and you've got a 40 something yard gain. So this one to me feels like a good hire. I've got Rocco backed higher than a 1.5 passing touchdowns. Again, it's Swiss cheese in that Kansas State secondary. It's going to be lots of holes and plenty of places to find the pay dirt, and I think that Rocco Becht will cash a couple of those in. Probably longer distance and breaking a couple of plays like that. Looking at Dylan Edwards as well, I really like that higher than 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns. Feels like the protected play here. Really feels like something that you could, count on Kansas State to do is to run the football and use Dylan Edwards to find the end zone at some point. And I'm going to go also with that Kansas game, but I'm going to go with Daniel Highshaw Jr. higher than a half a rushing touchdown or receiving touchdown. I'm big on him this year. I think that he's going to have a fantastic season, and getting to pick him in a spot where they're going to want to run the football, keep things simple, not overshow their hand, right? You want to just kind of keep things regular for the season, not show too much of your playbook. I think that higher than half of a rushing touchdown, I think it's pretty protected play here as well. That this would be definite. I would feel comfortable with that as your one touchdown at a minimum for him. So that's my 100 kicks coins going for 573 is my number.
All right. Well, guys, love it. Week 0 is upon us. Again, as an Underdog Fantasy partner all season long, we will be doing these lineup picks. We'd love you to join us. Again, use our code 3TechPod for first-time bonuses across their app and their website. And until next time, guys, so long, everybody.